It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds, and welcome to another episode of the Dictionary. My name is Spencer, and this is episode F57. I real quick have to say that this is the first episode I'm recording after the election, the presidential election. Today, for me, is November 7th, and I had to take yesterday off from life because I had to process. The results of this are very interesting and intriguing, and have a lot of thoughts, and I'm very tempted to just record a whole video where I talk about that. But I'm kind of speechless. Yeah, I think a lot of people voted for Trump for a variety of reasons, and that is why we are where we are now. And my hope is that the people who voted for him are right, that he will actually do what they think he will do. I truly believe that he will not. And I don't want to be in the situation where I have to say, I told you so, but I do believe that that might be coming. And I'm nervous. I am nervous. Just this morning, I saw that students in Alabama, black students in Alabama, received anonymous texts saying, pack up your stuff, you're going to plantation number 2 to be a slave, and executive slaves will come to get you. Yeah, what? Excuse me? This is where we're at now? Idiocracy, I've been saying for years, Idiocracy is coming true, and also The Handmaid's Tale. Handmaiden or Handmaid? That is also coming true. Welcome to the future, everyone. Let's talk about some words. It's going to be hard to be happy and fun and excited about this, but we will try. Let's just force it. The first word is felly. F-E-L-L-Y. Also, fellow, F-E-L-L-O-E. The plurals are fellies or fellows. This is a noun from, where is the year? Before the 12th century. It's an old one, people. It's so old, it's like, I've been around for 800 years, maybe 900 years. I'm a very old word. Okay, felly is the exterior rim or a segment of the rim of a wheel supported by the spokes. Well, if it's been around for all these hundreds of years, we're probably not talking about a car tire, but just a wheel, just a wooden wheel, a very simple wooden wheel for a carriage, a thing, whatever. We've had wheels for a while. And so just the outside of the wheel, that maybe wooden curved thing or metal, that is called the felly or the fellow, or just a portion of the rim is the felly or the fellow. Not sure why. It's the same word for a portion of the thing or the whole thing, but that's fine. Whatever. You do what you want, felly. So the etymology says this is from, Old English felg, akin to the Old High German felga, which means felly. From Old English fjalg, is that an L, I think, which means piece of plowed land. Piece of plowed land is the felly or the fjalg, and you have to, back in old agriculture times, you had a plow and it had wheels on it, and you had an animal pulling that thing along, and so you'd probably measure it maybe by how many rotations of the wheel or something like that. I'm just trying to come up with like a connection between the wheel going along the plowed land, and that's the felly. The portion of the plowed land is the felly, and the wheel is the felly, or the fellow. Okay. Oh, I have to make a sound effect. Oh boy, what am I going to do today? This is a very interesting episode to be recording today of all days. Um, I'm trying. I gotta go. We just got to do something fun, like yeah, because I'm trying to force the optimism, the happiness, the silver lining, the we will get through this. Come on. Okay. The next word is fellow de se. Fellow de se. Fellow de se or fellow de see. This is 3 words? Question mark. FELO hyphen DE hyphen SE. Okay, it's a noun. Oh, the plural is, felonies de se. So the first part is the thing that's getting pluralized. Fellow de se is a noun from 1607. Number 1, a person who commits suicide. Oh, I did not know this is where we're going. A person who commits suicide or who dies from the effects of having committed an unlawful malicious act. I feel like those are a little different. I understand technically committing suicide, which is the older term, one that we're still using, but we're getting away from it gradually, that is an unlawful act, I guess, but I do feel like there's a difference between committing suicide, taking your own life, and committing an unlawful malicious act where you are still alive. Okay, so what is this again? A person who commits suicide or who dies from the effects of having committed an unlawful malicious. So you could do something really bad, commit an unlawful malicious act, and then die from it, but maybe that wasn't intentional. So the whole point of this, and we'll look at the etymology in a bit, the whole point of this word is that you are dying from doing a bad thing, quote unquote, bad thing, whether you are taking your own life or doing something and you die from it. So either way, that's I assume that's going to be in the etymology somewhere, something along those lines. So number 2 for fellow de se is an act of deliberate self-destruction. I mean, it's right there, and the synonym is suicide. Because this is so pertinent, I have to look up something that somebody posted and I shared, which, yes, very, very appropriate right now here. This was the LGBTQ plus suicide prevention resources, and it's got the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Text TALK to 741741, the Trevor Project, Trans Lifeline, and Sage LGBT Elder Hotline. And I'm sure there's a lot more, but maybe I should put links to those in the show notes. Because if Trump does what he says he was going to do, now that he will be president, theoretically that the people in the LGBTQ plus IA and trans world are, trans was I repeated it. That's part of the LGBTQ part. They are very possibly likely in trouble. And I think a lot of them are probably considering taking this action, and I don't want them to take this action, and I want them to stay and fight the good fight with the rest of us. So please, if you're considering this, look at one of those links, call the number, text the thing, talk to somebody, because it's not worth it. I don't think it's worth it. I think we need to be here and fight together. We got to do this together. Oh my God, this is so depressing. Let's look at the etymology for fellow de se. Let's see. This is Middle Latin. Fellow de se. Fellow de se literally means evildoer in respect to oneself. Yep, that's what it's all about. It's all about doing something bad to yourself. Never heard this one. It's a very interesting concept. I don't know what the specific, what do these words mean in So to say, I'm guessing that say, S-E, is the word in, I guess it's Latin, Middle Latin, that pertains to the self, and then fellow is relating to the evil doer doing the evil action. I don't know what the etymology of that is exactly, but there might be some other words in this section that we might get some more information about that. Possibly, potentially, maybe not. We'll see. Yeah! Feels very weird to be doing that as my sound effect today. Now we have the first form of the word felon. The person who just got elected to be the president of the United States is a convicted felon. Let's just put that out there. Okay, first form of felon is a noun from the 13th century. Number one who has committed a felony. We'll talk about that soon. Number 2 is archaic. The synonym is villain. Okay, number 3, the synonym is whitlow. Oh, I gotta look up this word. W-H, whitlow. Let's see. We're breaking all of the rules here by looking ahead, but we're never gonna even remember that we did this when we get. Oh, I have to skip another page. We'll never remember that we even did this when we get to this section. Wow, there are a lot of white words. White. There's so many white things. Oh, look, there's White House. Okay, whitlow. Let's see. I'm not going to tell you the whole thing because that would be so extra cheating. Inflammation of the finger. That's a felon? An inflammation of the finger is a felon? You're a villain, you inflammation on my finger. You're being such a villain to me right now. All right, so that is felon. What does the etymology have to say about this one? I think it might be related to fellow de se, from Anglo-French felon fel, which means evildoer. Yep. Probably of Germanic origin, akin to the Old High German filen, which means to beat or whip. Whoa. From fel, which means skin. More at the word fel with 2 L's. And so if the skin is fel, I want to get things in the camera. Here we go. If your skin is fel, and then the whipping and the beating is filen, so it's beating and whipping the skin, and that's an evil action, that you're an evildoer if you are doing that to somebody's skin. And I don't know, I'm just trying to connect all these. And then, yeah. Okay. Very interesting stuff. No clue. I had no clue about this skin connection. Yeah. The second form of felon is an adjective from the 13th century. Number 1 is archaic. 1A, the synonym is cruel. Does that tell you something about this word? Cruel, villain. What's next? 1B, the synonym is evil. Evil. It's so evil you would have to pronounce it evil. So both of those technically are archaic. We don't use this word felon in replacement of those words cruel and evil, but the history is still there. Evil is his one and only game. Number 2 is also archaic. The synonym is wild. Wild. That's just wild. It's so wild. Yeah. Next we have felonious. This is not Thelonious with a TH, Thelonious Monk. This is felonious with an F. The felon, adjective from 1567. Number 1 is archaic. It means very evil. Very evil. The synonym is villainous. Villainous, felonious. I wonder if villainous literally, yeah, I never thought about that. The words sound so similar. Felon, villain, felon, villain. That's probably literally what it evolved into. This is fascinating. Number 2, of relating to or having the nature of a felony. as in felonious assault. The assault that you did on that person was a felony. Feloniously is an adverb, and feloniousness is a noun, and it looks like it must have all the same etymology, so we got to go to, felonry. Felon with an R-Y, noun from 1837. The synonym is felons, plural, felons, which does not have its own entry, but I guess it's literally just the plural of felon, but especially the convict population of a penal colony. Penal colony, that's the colony of people who did bad things and are paying for it, like in a jail kind of situation. They're being penalized. So the whole population of a jail, say, is the felonry, all of the felons. If whether or not they are technically felons, I guess it doesn't really matter. But they are the felonry. Ooh, you could hear that in a old school something. The felonry of the thing, all the bad people. Okay. Let's see. Next. Yeah. Felony, noun from the 14th century. We have a few definitions. Number 1, an act on the part of a feudal vassal involving the forfeiture of his fee. I don't know all those words. An act on the part of a feudal vassal involving the forfeiture of his fee. So so the feudal vassal had to give up his fee, and so he did an act that made him give up his fee. I'm not sure. I'm sure this is where this thing comes from, doing a bad thing, being a felon, a villain, being evil. I'm not entirely sure how it's. I don't know enough about those words in that time period, but I sort of see it. 2A, so the rest of these are A, B, C, and D. 2A is a grave crime formerly differing from a misdemeanor under English common law by involving forfeiture in addition to any other punishment. I don't fully understand this either. Formerly differing from a misdemeanor under English common law by involving forfeiture in addition. I feel like this is written for lawyers. Sometimes, like, I need this. I know, book. I know that you are writing this in the shortest way possible, but I need it to be written another way for my simple brain to understand. My simple brain that is probably just getting simpler as I age. Forfeiture in addition to any other punishment. You're forfeiting something. I don't know, whatever. Number 2, like, I seriously think there's something wrong with my brain. Like, I'm sure this is not as hard as I make it out to be. 2B, a grave crime declared to be a felony by the common law or by statute, regardless of the punishment actually imposed. Okay, 2C, a crime declared a felony by statute because of the punishment imposed. Because of the punishment that you're getting, it is a felony. And 2D, a crime for which the punishment in federal law may be death or imprisonment for more than 1 year. Do any of these connect to what we think of a felony as in modern times? I mean, the last one seems like it's most likely that if you are maybe it depends on the state. In some states, maybe if you're a felon, you get sent to death, or you have to go to prison for at least a year. Do we think that this will happen to Trump? For what, 34 felons or something? I'm not so sure if that will be happening. We will see. Okay, anyway, that's felony. I don't know enough about the law and the situations to talk more about felons and felonry and felony. But yeah, just putting that out there. Okay, next, we have felsite. Felsite, Felsite, noun from 1794. A dense igneous rock consisting almost entirely of feldspar and quartz. Quartz. Felsitic is an adjective, and this is just from feldspar plus ite, which is a suffix you see a lot with those sorts of materials. Quartz is in there. Why couldn't we get part of that word in there? I think it could have been fellwertzite. I don't know. Somebody could have come up with something good, or maybe start with quarsparite. Ooh, okay. I think that's the new name. The new name for felsite is quarsparite. That's a good one. Okay. What is feldspar? I hear you asking. What is feldspar? Yeah, it is a. Well, it's the definition is not here. We've already spoken about it. This is FELSPAR. It's the chiefly British variation of feldspar with a D in there. So I guess you got to go back to just a couple episodes ago. Yes, 2 episodes ago. Group of crystalline minerals that consist of aluminum silicates with either potassium, sodium, calcium, or barium, and that are essential constituent. Is that what that says? Constituents of nearly all crystalline rocks. That is feldspar. Okay, and felsite consists of feldspar plus quartz. Yeah. Next is felt, first form, F-E-L-T, noun from before the 12th century. Number 1A, a cloth made of wool and fur, often mixed with natural or synthetic fibers through the action of heat, moisture, chemicals, and pressure. I believe that many Muppets have been made from just puppets in general. Muppets are very specific from the Jim Henson Company, but puppets in general, many of them are made from felt. You can make stuff with felt, and that sounds like a very complicated process. Made of wool and fur, often mixed with natural or synthetic fibers through the action of heat. You're cooking it. Moisture. You're adding moisture, water to it in some way. Chemicals. I don't know what you're doing with those chemicals. And pressure. You're squeezing it so hard. How do they make felt? Maybe we should put a link in the show notes for how to make felt. Okay, so that was 1A. Now we have 1B, a firm woven cloth of wool or cotton, heavily napped and shrunk. And napped is like an action of, I don't know what you're doing. How do you nap a fabric? What are you doing to it? Is it, I don't know what that is. And it's shrunk. Do you put it in the oven to shrink it? Probably not. I don't know. Number 2, an article made of felt. Number 3, a material resembling felt, as 3A. A heavy paper or organic, a heavy paper of organic or asbestos fibers impregnated with asphalt and used in building construction. Well, I sure hope we're not using asbestos anymore, because that stuff is not good for you. But they use this in building construction, so contractors, builders, all those people, they have a different feeling, a different knowledge of this word felt when they think about it, when they talk about it. I had not heard of that one. Number 3B. So it resembles felt. So does the stuff that they build with resemble the fabric felt? In the way, is it like a fabric? Is it soft? I don't know. Number 3B, semi-rigid pressed fiber insulation used in building. Yep, very similar to 3A, I guess. Felt-like is an adjective. I think it should say feltish. I like ish better, feltish. Let's see, this word came from Old High German fils, which means felt, from the Latin pellere, which means to drive or beat. So, yeah, maybe they're just beating this fabric to a pulp, and that's how they made it. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. They said pressure is involved, so maybe, I don't know. And interesting that that it becomes the skin of the puppet. And if we go back to fellow de se, the etymology, sorry, that was the wrong one. Was it, which one was it? Felon? Yes. Felon. Fel is skin, and you're beating it and whipping it. That was the other word that the etymology it came from. And so, is there a connection? Possibly. I mean, FEL, I guess, yeah, but it's sort of a coincidence, I think, that it became the skin of the puppet. So that's just a weird coincidence, probably. But it's in there. It's in there. Okay, now we did all those. Yeah! The second form of felt is a transitive verb from the 14th century. Number 1, to make out of or cover with felt. Felting the foam, the wire, the structure, covering it with felt is felting it. Number 2, to cause, to adhere, and mat together. To cause to adhere. You're making something stick together? Felting. Number 3, to make into felt or a similar substance. Well, I'm just going to take all these things and I'm going to felt them because I would like them to be felt. To be the material felt because I would like to make some puppets and I want some felt for that. Okay. Yeah. The third form of felt is the past and past participle. It's the past form of the word feel. Feel. How did you feel? Well, I felt sad when the election went the way it did. Yeah. Felting. Felting. Noun from 1686. Number 1, the process of making felt. And number 2, the synonym is felt. So if this is the noun, then felting is just a name for the fabric felt or maybe the building stuff felt. Yeah! Ooh, my jaw cracked. You probably heard that. Next is felt tip. 2 words with a hyphen. Noun from 1956. A pen having a writing point made of felt. And felt tip or felt tipped is an adjective. A pen. So most of my pens are they're ballpoint. There's no felt there. Have I ever used a felt tip pen? I don't know. Well, okay, would a Sharpie or some sort of marker like that be considered felt tip? I know that like some markers the tip is like not foamy, not fabricy exactly, but it's like, I don't know, it's something. I don't know what they are, but now I really want to try a felt tip pin and be like, what is this like? Are you soft and cuddly? And I don't know what you are. Felt tip. Okay, we have a couple more words. Yeah! Next is felucca or felucca. Felucca. This is a noun from 1615. A narrow, fast, lantine-rigged sailing vessel, chiefly of the Mediterranean area. Those words came out funny. Chiefly of the Mediterranean area. And I think maybe we need to post a picture of a felucca, Felucca. It's a boat, a narrow, fast... maybe I should just look up a picture right now, because I can do that. Felucca. Maybe, is it... what's the etymology? Oh, yes, it's Italian. Felucca. But we added a C. For some reason, they had one C. We have two Cs. And yes, the sail, it comes to a point, and it looks very, very speedy, potentially. I wouldn't mind taking a little ride on a felucca. Felucca. Okay, that's the boat. And yeah. Next is femme, abbreviation for female or feminine. This is not femme, Femme, which is coming up in the next episode. And I believe that I'm going to have a guest on that episode. I have been talking about that one for a while with this. We talked about it a long time ago, and I hope they remember, but we need to schedule that. And so I think that will be a good episode. And one more word for this episode. Yeah. It is FEMA, FEMA, all caps, abbreviation for Federal Emergency Management Agency. I feel like there has been a lot of issues, legal issues, confusing things with FEMA, with I don't even understand what. I don't know if it's that they're doing some messed up things or what. You wouldn't think that they would be, because their whole thing is helping people in emergencies. This is America. Are they national or international too? I know different countries have their own version of this, but I feel like I've heard that there are controversies with FEMA. I don't know what they are, but in general, they're going in when there's an area that has an emergency, flooding, tornado, hurricane, etc. It's earthquakes. They're coming in, and they're the group that is helping. And I believe they get federal funding because they are the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And so they probably could use all the money. They need a lot of money, a lot of funding, because we are not lacking in disasters. In fact, we are having more and more disasters than we used to, I believe. Fires, that's another one. So you got to allow FEMA to go in and do what they got to do. Okay. Well, those were all the words, and now I'm going to pick one as the word of the episode. I don't know which one it's going to be. Let's find out. Today we had fellow de se. Some of these I'm so unfamiliar with, I need to remind myself of what they are. So felly is the wheel. Fellow de se is the person who is committing suicide or something bad against themselves. Felon, felonious, felonry, felony, felsight, felspar, felt, felting, felt tip, feluca, fem, and FEMA. Do I pick? Honestly, I'm debating between felt and felon, two completely different words for completely different reasons. I think to try to stay a little bit more positive, I'm just going to pick felt as the word of the episode, but boy, I'm tempted to pick felon because of reasons. I'm made out of felt. I don't have skin, I'm made of felt. You put me together on some foam. That's the felt that you put on the foam. I don't know where that went. Okay, we're done with that. And let's talk about a movie or two that I watched. The next one is Mute Witness. I think neither Sharon nor I had ever seen this movie, but growing up as, kids going to movie stores, we both had seen this box, this cover of a woman's mouth with her lips sewn shut, and I think we both had this visceral reaction to that box, that cover, and we're both intrigued. It's a little surprising that she never watched it, actually, because she's much more into the horror thriller stuff than I was. But yeah, it's more of a thriller than a horror movie. But we finally watched it, and I had no idea what to expect. I genuinely had no idea what it was about, other than that image. But it's about a woman who can't speak, won't speak, don't speak. And she is the witness. She's a mute witness. It's right there in the title. And then we watched Caddo Lake. And I don't, how much do I want to even say about this? I don't want to say much. I just want to say that it's a very interesting, intriguing story of a little girl who goes missing in a very rural area with lots of boats and sort of swampy areas. And it's beautiful to look at. And also just it's a fun thinker. If you want something like that, check out Caddo Lake, Caddo. Okay, that's it for this episode. Good luck, everyone. Try and stay positive. Let's keep on keeping on. Don't be a fellow de se. Fight the good fight. Here we go. This is the beginning of a new era. This has been Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.